Welcome to episode 2 of The Second-Hand Man. In the last episode, I talked about some of the messier parts of recovery. This time, I'm giving you a look at what my days are really like. Raw, unfiltered, and occasionally microwaved. No grand insights here, or maybe one or two. If you're enjoying those videos and you want to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a like, and sharing it with anybody you think might benefit from it. As I mentioned in my last video, Sylvia had to leave for an 8-day work trip. My friend Eyþór was coming over from Norway, but I still needed to figure out things on my own for 4 days. In recent years after the transplant, I had become pretty self-sufficient, but with the latest surgical intervention, I had temporarily lost some of that independence. But when I decided to create this channel, I committed to giving an honest insight into what it looks like to live with disability in as non-depressing way as I could. Too often we are displayed sitting alone with poor lighting and sad cello notes. That can probably describe the reality of some. And most of us are in that way in early stages of coming to terms with our situation. Luckily, I'm generally happy with my life, even if it's a life where everything is just a bit harder. For example, eating a pizza. This is how that process looks at 5 times the speed. When I'm home alone, I revert to factory settings. I eat, sleep, and shit. My 3 dogs keep me accountable. We all share the same basics, though they have an extra need: movement. And since none of them have figured out how to use a toilet, we must go out daily. The problem is, with my shoulder screaming at me, putting on a sweater is a battle. The solution? Wear it from Sunday till Thursday. Toilet, automatic. Food, pre-made. That week's nutrition plan: pizzas, microwave meals, and cereal. Not proud, not shamed either. I made it through without burning down the house or poisoning myself, and in my books, that's a win. Eyþór, a childhood friend, helmsman on oil rig service ship. His name literally translates as not Thor. Slightly rounder than me, which brings me a great comfort. Finally, I could remove the sticky sweater that had accompanied me for the past days and nights, and we could have a proper meal. He had just finished a month-long shift off the coast of Norway and came to relax. Naturally, I had other plans. We barbecued, we ate, and then we rested. He thought he was on a holiday. He was wrong. But I'm not a monster. Not only, at least. When guests arrive, it's a perfect opportunity to explore the region. I had read that something was happening in Obernay, a village close to where I live, so off we went.
Then the boys are going to Obernay in a market, a spring Easter market, very Alsatian thing. And I have to be like a clown. I am burned to crisp because of antibiotics that I am taking. My skin is unusually sensitive and I need to be careful, so that's why I'm painted white and with a weird hat.
Obernay is one of those places that feels like it was designed by someone who got really into fairy tales and never quite got out. Cobblestone streets, timber-framed houses, and colorful flowers everywhere. As if the town was created for Instagram selfies. It's in Alsace, a region that has been flipped between France and Germany so often that it probably has trust issues. You'll find Alsatian vines, storks nesting on church steeples, and people who speak French with a bit of German shrug. The market is legendary, seasonal produce, cheese, sausage, cookies, chocolate Easter bunnies, stuff made out of fabric and whatever all this stuff is. Happiness and joy radiate from people's faces, some a bit more than others. Everything's local, everything's fresh, except me. I was sweaty, confused, and overdressed.
My lady, bonjour, my lady. Oui, bonjour, bonjour.
Still, even without knowing much about the place, you feel its story. And isn't that what travel does? It puts you in a story that started long before you showed up and will continue after you leave. But yeah, I filmed none of that. I only Googled this stuff after the fact. But what I did film, on the other hand, was us walking through the market just for the sake of showing you what's going on. Obernay is also known for its savory food culture. So of course we went for the most common and widely available dish in France, kebab. Cultural exploration at its finest. Eventually, Eyþór also discovered something. If you strap me to a brush cutter just right, I become a fully autonomous weed clearing unit. No functional hand required, just steady stride and questionable decision making. We called it Operation Strap a Loony to the Weed Whacker. Eventually, Sylvia returned and Eyþór continued his journey to Iceland to spend some time with his children. Life doesn't always go to plan. Sometimes just changing a sweater feels like an impossible task. Sometimes your most profound moments of self-reflection happens while eating microwave food in clothes you haven't taken off since Sunday. But if you slow down, really slow down, you start to feel something underneath all the noise. The splash of a dog's paw in the river. The warmth of someone beside you. The quiet hum of just being there. Science says everything is energy, moving, vibrating, dancing. And what looks solid is mostly space. But somehow, through all that space and movement, we feel, we love, and we care. You might sometimes think you're falling apart, but maybe you are just becoming something new. And no matter how much has been taken, your strength, your career, your sense of who you were, there is still something left, something real. Love, gratitude, and connection. And when you lead with that, when you soften, when you forgive, when you stop tearing yourself down, people show up. Not because you're broken, but because you're human. So yeah, those quiet, ordinary, ridiculous little moments, like sharing a kebab in Auburn, or pretending a brush cutter is a gym session, they aren't just a background noise. They are the point. And if you're still here watching, thank you. It means a lot. See you next week.
What did she do?
He bit me in the knee.